3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so as you can see, I do a negative G turn, try to get guns. And then I know his guns are coming back down on mine, so what I do is pull to the side. He's not expecting that. So as
That's
you can
pulling
see,
to the side? Oh.
and then I do a quick, like, kind of like a half split S, I guess you could say. I don't know. I roll the pitch down, but then I don't pitch down. Now you can see, I see where his guns are pointing, so I pull to the left. And so I can see where his guns are pointing, so I try to evade under, see his tracers going far.
Okay.
Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Now I'm trying to keep my speed up. I see his guns are just on me right now, so I pull up again. Barely misses. So at this point, I've got him just where I want him. He's starting to catch up. He's cutting into my turns more and more.
Okay.
So I basically just keep doing evasive maneuvers. As you can see, I'm doing maneuvers to stay out of his guns. Just enough, though. Doing stuff he won't expect. Sometimes cutting in front of his guns super fast. Okay, so now you can see he's starting to pull off, right?
Yeah, as to not overshoot.
Yes. Now, if he keeps trying to climb away, he's going to have to do some evasive maneuvers to evade my guns as he goes up. But what he decides to do here is try and fight with me. This kind of initiates a sort of stall fight, I guess you could say. So I try to pull off a shot here. I'm just short of his wing. And so now if I remember correctly, I kick out my flaps. And I'm trying to roll back on him, right?
Alright.
At this point, I don't know where he is, so I'm just trying to... I assumed he'd go the other way, but he didn't. So now I spot him around this point. I pitch to go back at him. Flaps are still in. Oh yeah, one thing to help you turn faster is use, like, W and stuff. Instead of just using mouse.
I just have mine set for, inverted, like, S for... pitch
That's harder,
and
harder when you're trying to do a roll with your tail as well. So now, as you can see, I can see he's turning into me, and I can see that he's going to beat the turn. So what I do is full left rudder, full left aileron, and do a small barrel roll there. As you can see, he misses because he wasn't expecting that. He was expecting me to stay up with that. So as you can see, he's back into this situation where he's on my tail. He's got a lot of airspeed. I don't have much on me, so this means he will overshoot under me, pretty much. So as you can see, this is where I pull to the left on top of him to make him want to pull up. This will give me the advantage to stay on his tail. So see, he's trying to pull up for me. He can't, though. Now we're about at a similar speed. So what I do is roll left slightly, just enough that I go up above him. So you see how his guns are, like, pointing below me at the moment, right? And he's struggling to keep up with me. At this point, I do a kind of, just a roll just to keep myself kind of going evasive, I guess you could say.
you also have takeoff flaps on, or
Landing
landing, actually.
flaps out in order to stay above him. He doesn't. Now, at this point, he's starting to stall out. I'm starting to stall out. We both know we're stalling out. So what I do is another little roll. And at this point, I'm trying to make sure that I can pull to the right to get my guns on him. You see this? At this point, I'm right aileron, full right rudder, trying to keep my plane steady. But it's kind of hard with these the beginner planes. So now you can see I've still got landing flaps out. I'm trying to pull into his turn to get my guns on him. I pull in like that. You can see he's trying to go down, so I've still got landing flaps out in order to counter that.
Okay.
He starts to pull away, as you see. I pull my landing flaps back in, and then it basically, you're on his tail. There's nothing he can do.
Okay.
That's pretty much the premise of it. I know I can teach it better. I know I'm not the best teacher. Oh, at this part, I've got combat flaps out, just so then I'm not overshooting. I'm letting him speed ahead of me. Also, another thing you can't see at the moment, but I'm pretty sure I'm not weaping at this point.
Yeah, it doesn't tell us that.
Yeah.
But you can tell by the engine, by the sound the engine's making, it's wepping, or at least at somewhere near 100, or at least at 100%.
Now, this was kind of just reckless shooting by me, so don't pay much attention to this, but that's pretty much the basic premise of a reversal. You've got your rolls to stay ahead of him, some basic turns, that kind of stuff. I should post this video sometime this weekend, so I'll put that up as soon as possible.
Okay.
So, is there any questions,
No, not really.
Isaiah?
Nope.
Other than how'd you get your landing flaps to go on?
Oh, okay, very good question. Okay, there's probably a much better way to do this, but what I do is, I put out my gear for a split second, then I put out my flaps so it automatically goes to landing flaps because I have my gear out, and then I pull the gear back in before they can snap off.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I do. With Yaks, you don't have to do that because they only have landing flaps.